Good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about my journey with reading. I want to tell you something that might be surprising for some. I did not read a single book until the age of 12. I was not surrounded by books. I did not grow up in a family that really read books. No bedtime stories, only the textbooks that belong to school. That's what I had during my childhood time. And then it was until the age of 12 when I met my friend. I want to mention her name here. Her name was Manel, and she was and still is my best friend. And when we were going back home from school, we usually stop by the library and go inside and we grab 2 books and start reading. At that time, I did not really love reading, and I was like, I wanted her to do something else, but she pulled me to reading books. At first, I envied her. We were sometimes doing some competitions, and we want to see who would read faster. Though I know the result, I know she will be doing better than me, but somehow, deep inside, it's not about envy, but I wished I do the same thing. The first book we started reading together was a book translated. It's a translated romance. The title was Majdoline. And honestly, that was my hook. That was the book that kept me, like turning pages. And when I finished it, I said, wow, I read all of this. So I don't want to stop. And then we started reading a lot of books. Mostly they were translated to Arabic. So I read Charles Dickens, etc. And another thing that really also kept me inspired, I remember grade 7, I had a French teacher. Somehow, I don't know why, she chose me to read 2 volumes for Victor Hugo. I remember she gave me Les Miserables, but it was like Cosette 1 and Cosette 2. And she didn't ask me to do it as a homework. She just say, read them and tell me what have you learned. And I was doing it at first just to please her. She trusted me reading all this, so I will do it. But after that, I loved the story of. And that's how my journey reading French started. And then, of course, I was reading a lot. Mostly it was in Arabic. Ihsan Abdul Quddus, An-Nabi for Gibran Khalil Gibran. And few French books. Mostly I was reading Charles de Baudelaire, Les Fleurs du Mal, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau, but not that much. French was not really a lot, but mostly they were Arabic books at the time. And then when I went to university, of course, I chose to study English language and literature. Automatically, we have books to read. So mostly we were doing per semester like 2-3 novels. But I was not reading all of them at that time. The books that I still remember, and they really attracted me. And I remember I read them really. They were The Great Gatsby, The Great Expectations. I remember Scarlet Letter, and also Paradise Lost. These were books that even after university, I wanted to read them a second time. And that's it. After that, I started my teaching career and I stopped reading any books. And even during university, reading was not my passion. I was just reading because we have to read those books. And for 7 years, I've never touched or came, close to any book or to the library or bought any book. That passion is gone. Until when I came to the UAE, and it was always, inspired by a friend. I met a new friend, and her name was Stanislava. We call her Stani, and she was from Bulgaria. And she joined our school with her husband. And this couple, they had something different from all the other teachers. Usually they either have a Kindle device or she had a book. So I went to her and I asked, what are you doing? And she said, I'm reading this and that. And then I said, I used to read a lot, but I stopped. And I remember she gave me the book that she was reading, I guess, for the 3rd time. And she said, I love this book, start with it. And it was The Blue-Eyed Devil for Lisa Kleypas. And really it was a story that I couldn't, and also I read it for 2 times because it was a story. Yes, it was a romance, but I loved how it was written. And then I started reading all the books written by Lisa Kleypas and different classic romance. Again, another friend that I met, and we were 2 families that we sit together usually. And this friend used always to read also for Dostoevsky, Russian literature, something higher. And then also we started reading together. I read Crime and Punishment at first. And then the book that I really, mean, that would, like, even I cried when I was reading it. It was The Idiot. And then I read the Tolstoy books, then mostly Anna Karenina, actually, not all of his books. And that's how the journey continued. And then during the pandemic period, I joined a group for, it was like the university friends that we were like together. And also I met another friend and we started reading together, and he was reading in Arabic, I was reading the same books, but I would search for the English version, and mostly we read together Elif Shafak. That's the one that stands out mostly. Until now, of course, I am also inspired by friends, and that's why I have joined the Book Talk community, because now I am not just reading with friends that I know that they are just close to me, but we are like in the Book Talk, I am joining people from all over the world, and I listen to their recommendation to what they are reading now, and we read together. At the end, what I want to say is that reading is not inherited. It's not something that you are born with. It's not a hobby that is like, you are gifted or talented doing something. It is by inspiration. You don't know who might inspire you to just, take a book and let that spark and let you start reading. So choose your companion very well and start reading a journey, because you can't imagine how amazing it is.